and welcome back to my YouTube channel, and I think this is episode 5 now, 5 of the Summer Speed series. So I've been gearing up to sort of 2 races which have just been this weekend gone, and that was on Friday night there was the Marston 5K and Sunday morning was Bedford 10K. Now if you've seen my social media channels you would have seen that I achieved 2 PBs this weekend, so I'll talk through each race in on its own really. So Marston 5K, it's an evening race, and I don't know if this is just a mentality thing, but evening races I just struggle with. I prefer running in the morning myself anyway. I feel fresher, I feel light after a long day of, you know, food and drink, and it's all gearing up to that evening. But so I went to the race, did a warm-up, and my legs felt quite heavy. So again, I was in quite a negative mindset to start off with. Despite that, I got a PB, but I found it really hard. Don't know if it's just a 5K, but just the first mile was really, I wouldn't say easy, but I felt good. The last 2 miles, I just literally was hanging on there, just because I knew that I was on for PB if I carried on at that pace, but it was a struggle. So I managed to finish in 21:19, and my previous PB was 21:46. So I should have been really happy with it, but I walked away feeling a bit, I don't know, I just couldn't feel elated, I couldn't feel ecstatic. I was happy that I'd got a PB, but it just didn't feel like, it didn't feel a great achievement at the time, just because I probably found it so hard. But with all fair dues, I can't moan at the time at all. I'm not moaning about it, but it just wasn't that great sort of sense of feeling that you sort of sometimes feel after a race. I've had better runs where I've run, you know, a lot slower, and felt like it was enjoyable. But it's done, and I've got a PB. So the next one was obviously Bedford 10K, which was on Sunday, which was Father's Day. My dad and my brother were coming down to see me, but because of the road closures, they actually saw me at 9 kilometres, just as I was about to sort of turn down the home straight. They sort of stuck their head out the van, waved, and so I still did see them at the finish line technically. But that felt a lot more comfortable. Again, it was hard, but it wasn't as tough as what Friday was, and I just felt good. I felt confident on the way there and all stuff like that, maybe from the back of Friday. But again, another PB. So I was going for 45:30, which worked out about 7 minute 20 pace, but for some reason I just managed to go so much better and did 44:15, and just completely over the moon. I think I came 3rd in my age category, so I'm like 6th or 8th overall. So and I felt so much better when I finished. So I've been gearing up to these 2 races, and I must admit 2 PBs in 1 weekend is incredible. And you know, I've put it all over social media just because, you know, why not show off and be proud of what you've achieved. But then from the back of that, I've had a lot of people, you know, ask me over the last sort of few days, like, what's your secret? Why have you got so fast? How have you got that? And I wouldn't say there's really a secret, but I'd like to talk through what I've sort of done since the marathon to sort of build up to this point. I think one of the main important things that I did after the marathon was set myself new targets. I love writing stuff down and setting myself goals and targets and challenges. So that's what I did, and it's on my whiteboard at the moment, and it's still sort of still up there. So I had a 5K, 10K, half marathon and marathon target to work towards. Now, I know that some of these are going to take time, and I haven't beat any of these targets as of yet, but I'm very close to the 5K and 10K from the weekend just gone, and that's incredible because I didn't think I'd get that so close to it so soon. So I think that's tip number 1, is to set yourself goals that are realistic but also achievable and something that you can work towards. And as well, having the fact is that I've got a PB now, it's going to spur me on to try and get closer to those targets. So setting yourself targets which you can then have smaller targets beforehand makes it even better. So that's tip number 1. I then think as well that number 2, I've actually upped my training. So before I was training for the marathon, I must admit I was probably only training about 4 times a week. Now I am quite lucky that now that I've changed career paths and that I'm full-time personal training, I've got a bit more time during the daytime to go out and train myself. So but training sort of, I think mileage wise I'm doing around the same as what I was doing marathon training, but I'm doing shorter runs over more days. And as well then I've upped the intensity of it, so I'm making sure that when I'm going out I am actually going faster than what I was back in marathon, because I think back then I was going for distance and endurance rather than speed. Now speed work is horrible and I do hate it at the time, but afterwards you feel so good for it. So making sure that you up the intensity and that you actually have to push yourself through some of those runs. They're gonna be horrible and they're gonna be hard, but you just got to do it. Tip number 3, I think as well, over the last sort of few weeks or so, my nutrition has got a lot better than what it was before. So I was really good all the way up to the marathon. After the marathon, obviously, you know, you're celebrating, and I had a bit of time off, downtime, recovery, so important as well at the same time. But now my nutrition over the last few weeks has been upped, and you know, over the years I've been able to understand what my body needs and what it requires to fuel it properly. So it is a bit of trial and error, but I think that I've got it down to quite a good fine art now, with knowing what works for me. So that's another tip, nutrition. Tip number 4 is cross training. Now this is so important, and I can't get this across to people enough. So at the moment I try and do 1 yoga session a week. I try to do 1 to 2 strength sessions a week, and again the strength sessions are only around sort of 30 to 40 minutes. I fit them around my schedule, and again that is, I'm quite lucky, I have flexibility at the moment to be able to do that, but I think that is really important to get cross training into your routine, whether that be swimming or whether that be going for walks or whether that be doing home workouts, you know, HIIT training, strength training, weights, all stuff like that is going to be so beneficial, and I've seen huge improvements by having that in my routine. I think tip number 5, and one of the most important ones, is having someone to be accountable to and having motivation. Now this is going to sound really gay and cheesy, but my boyfriend James is also a runner, and I think that I wouldn't say he's my coach at all, but he's helped coach me over the last few months. Now he was quite an important part of my marathon training right at the very end, as he sort of taught me through tapering, and it was everything that I knew already, but he gave me the confidence to know that I was doing the right thing. So I walked into the marathon feeling really good, obviously achieved 3 hours and 44, my good for age, and then out the back of the marathon I didn't lose my mojo, because you know I had someone else that's into the same sort of passion as what I was and into the same sort of thing. So seeing someone else in as well, he's so much better runner than I am, having someone else that is so good at what they do, it does motivate and inspire you to carry on. And I don't think he realizes how much he's actually motivated me, but he really has. And having someone, a coach and someone there to help guide you and structure your week and your sessions, it's just helped me no end. And I think that's a main part of how I've done so well over the last few months, is because I've not dropped off the training, I've not tailed off, and I've just kept going, and I've just come out the back of the marathon really happy and pleased with how I've got on, and just wanted that to continue. And so having such an important person and a support network around you, you know, I'm quite lucky that I've got the running club as well, and everyone else in the whole running community online, that I've been able just to keep going and just not stopping basically. So yeah, I wouldn't say try and find a boyfriend that's into running, because that's not right for everyone and it's not possible, but I think it's having someone to help coach you and guide you along the way, and just having the right people around you to support you. So you know, I put out a tweet the other day about looking for online coaches, and the response I got was huge. There's so many out there now. So you know, if you are wanting to improve, you need to have a structure and a plan in place, and then you need to have someone else around you to help you in that and fine tune that and continue to make improvements. So yeah, I guess there's no real secret to how I've got faster over the last few months, but I think it's a combination of things which has helped me get there. So yeah, I'll keep this short and sweet today, although I've just looked at the time and it's not as short as what I wanted it to be. But yeah, I hope this has helped some people, and if you've got any questions, then please feel free to send me a message or leave me a comment down below. Please like the video, subscribe to my channel, as hopefully you'll be able to follow my journey. Now that I'm in for the London Marathon 2018, I've got my spot, I've got my guaranteed entry, so I'll be documenting my journey up to all the way till April next year. But yes, please feel free to contact me. I'm on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, all as Clean Coach Katie, and then also my website, cleancoachkatie.com. But yeah, thank you once again, and I'll see you all very soon.